जो ये आनिन
यही पड़े रहुଛି ଲ୍ୟାପଟପ୍
ଗୋଟେ ମାଉସ୍ ଥିଲା ମୁଁ ଏଠି ଦେଇଥିଲି ତୁମକୁ କେବେ ସେଥିରେ ସେ ସିଷ୍ଟମ୍ ସାଙ୍ଗେ କିଏ ନେଇଯାଇଛି ମୋ ପାଖରେ ଦୁଇଟା ମାଉସ୍ ଥିଲା ଏଇଟା ବଡ଼ କଲେ କ'ଣ ହେଉଛି ଗୁଡ଼ାଏ ସାରା କଟିଯାଉଛି ସେପଟେ ଦେଖାଯାଉନି ଦେଖୁନ କେତେ କଟିଯାଉଛି ତାକୁ ମୁଁ ଟିକେ ବଢ଼େଇ ଦେ ହଁ ବାସ୍ Good morning. So welcome to today's current affairs discussion. Fine. We are starting with an environmental topic. Fine. The first topic that we will take for discussion today is about the saving the vulture. Fine. And this program was launched by the government of Tamil Nadu. Fine. So the news is recently the Tamil Nadu government formed a committee to set up an institutional framework for the effective conservation of vultures, the natural scavengers. Vultures are the nature scavenger because they eat all the dead bodies and clean the environment. The state is home to 4 species of vultures: the white-rumped vulture called the Gypsy bengalensis, long-billed vultures, the Asian king vultures, and the Egyptian vulture. So 4 different species of vultures are found in Tamil Nadu. While there have been reported sighting of vultures in other districts including Dharmapuri, essentially the Nilgiri, Erode and Coimbatore districts are believed to form one of the largest contiguous expanse where vultures are spotted. Although they are also spotted at other locations, but these 3 districts, essentially Nilgiri, Erode and Coimbatore districts of Tamil Nadu, so their number is more visible. Okay, but what led the government to launch a program when they are available, they are visible, their number is large, then what is the need of conservation? Okay, recently Tamil Nadu government formed a committee, okay, for this. Why the government formed this committee? What led the government to form the committee? What led? Okay, so home to nesting sites of 3 of these 4 species of vultures seen in the state. The Madumalai Tiger Reserve, part of the Nilgiri Forest Division, and the Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve are crucial strongholds for the vulture in South India. Okay, the 2 forest areas on each is Madumalai Tiger Reserve and second is मैडम गोटे क्लास अच्छी बाहरी कथा मत आप 4टा बेले कल कर पृथ्वी कथा 4टा कल कर 4 घंटा क्लास ठीक है ओके प्लीज डोंट माइंड कल बैक फॉर हाय सो because of these 2 large tiger reserves, one is the forest cover like the Madumalai Tiger Reserve and the Satyamangalam Tiger Reserves. Okay, they are the crucial strongholds for the vultures in the southern India. Occasionally, migrants such as the Himalayan different vultures and the cinereous vultures are also spotted each year. Okay, that means apart from the species in the state, 2 other species of vultures are also located in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu boasts the largest population of vultures south of the Vindhyas mountain range. In the Nilgiris, there are between 100 and 120 white-rumped vultures, 10 and 15 long-billed vultures, and less than 10 Asian king vultures located normally. Okay, so the Egyptian vultures are spotted in the Sigur plateaus encompassing the Nilgiri and Erode districts. They are not believed to use the landscape to breed. While researchers still remain unsuccessful in tracing the breeding site of the critically endangered Asian king vulture. Fine. What is the breeding ground of this Asian king vultures? Even researchers are unable to find the lead in knowing the breeding sites of the Asian king vultures, which is critically endangered. Okay, the number is too less right now. Fine. So are the vultures number decreasing? While the population of the vultures in the Nilgiri, Erode and Coimbatore districts have remained largely stable, experts state that the number has still extremely low and that even a single poisoning event could lead to several of the species going totally extinct, especially the long-billed and Asian king vultures, because the number is too less. Over the last few years, breeding seasons have also seen fewer hatchings than in the norms, with the experts attributing the cause to lesser availability of prey as well as erratic weather. Because vulture depend on the prey and less availability of the prey as well as the erratic weather conditions are not suitable for more and more breeding of the vultures in the natural way. The use of some non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs to treat cattle such as diclofenac, nimesulide, ketoprofen, among others, has led to the crash in the vulture population across India. So vulture death in the country is also human induced, because so the human are injecting some medicine to the cattle, and on the death of the cattle, so when their dead body was taken or eaten by the vultures, that led to their death. Fine. This is the very crucial reason in the reducing number of vultures. It is again human induced, although not directly but indirectly. So on the cows and buffaloes, some anti-inflammatory and steroids are given, such as diclofenac, nimesulides, ketoprofens, which once the cattle died, so this the dead body are dumped and the cattle feed on them. That led to the ultimate extinction of the vulture population. Fine. What role do vultures play in the local ecosystem? As scavengers, vultures help prevent the spread of many diseases and can remove toxin from the entering the environment by consuming carcasses of dead cattle, wildlife before they decompose. Unfortunately, their tolerance for harmful substances does not extend to man-made drugs. Although they are tolerant to nature's made harmful substances, but man-made harmful substances like the what I told the name the drugs, they are unable to bear it. That led to their death. What are the challenges which impacts vultures in the state? There are multiple. For one, temple tourism in the Sigur Plateau is centered prominently around vulture habitats such as Siriaru, Anaketu and Bokapuro. In the last few years, there have been recorded instances of vultures abandoning nesting sites located too close to temples inside these regions, with activists calling for strict control of the amount of people allowed to attend these festivals. Because when there is overcrowding in the vicinity of the breeding areas, so they left that area. So their breeding activity is interrupted. So large flow of tourists to these areas led to interruption in the breeding habit of the vultures. That is also a reason, because during the festivities, large gathering took place near the temples, and the temples are located near the forest area, and the forest area and the temples are located in large gathering that led to the vultures abandoning those grounds for breeding, and that led to a fall in the number of vulture population. Fine. Another threat is the spread of invasive weeds such as the lantana, camara in vulture landscapes, which hinder the birds from scavenging, as their large wing span require plenty of open area to satisfy to safely land and to take to the skies in case of any major threat, because they will say vulture breeding center. Okay, and we are able to successfully breed vultures through the vulture breeding program launched by the government in Odisha. Fine, that is a good news for us. Because of the super cyclone local protest, the closure date was also advanced from to 2022 from 2030. Because of the natural impact of this, government decided to close it. Okay, this oil and gas field. So, and the closure deadline of 2030 has been preponed to 2022. Fine. However, due to recent geopolitical tension, the Dutch government wants to keep option open. The Dutch cabinet expressed that it would like to be in a position to close down the Groningen gas field in 2023. This is the only way to restore safety in Groningen and to reassure residents in the long run. However, the uncertain geopolitical development have prompted to refrain from permanently closing down as well. Anyways, in 2022, because of this Russia-Ukraine crisis, there is a fall in supply of natural gas. Okay, from Russia. So, as a precautionary measure, as a support to the program, so, and as a measure to facilitate. Okay, so government is of those countries are taking a second thought. According to a report, if allowed, the additional supply from the field could go up to a level that could have make for what Germany imported in 2021 from Russia. Okay, that means if Russian supply is interrupted, so this field can provide that, reimburse that. The field still has potential for about 450 billion cubic meters of gas to be extracted. So huge gas reserve is already there that can be extracted. Okay, so potential is there, so that to be explored only. And because of this Russia-Ukraine war, as the supply line is possibility of being affected, so closure is not implemented on a sudden. Fine. Can oil or gas exploration cause earthquake? That is the second question being raised. Experts agree that man-made or induced earthquakes can be pretty damaging, and earthquakes are naturally happening, but at times some human-induced earthquake also took place. Okay, example of human activity that could lead to induced seismicity are damming of rivers to create reservoirs, oil or gas extraction, and mining activity. Remember the things what may lead to human-induced seismicity. Okay, so a new term called human-induced seismicity are given. The option is, what are the options given here? So damming means dam building activity of rivers to create reservoirs where a large store of water is maintained. Okay, oil and gas extraction creates a vacuum under earth. Then mining activity also create vacuum. Okay, fluid extraction from hydrocarbon reserves, rocks that hold hydrocarbons, which are oil and gas, cause an increase in net effective stresses. What? Increase in net effective stresses, which when supported by the geomechanics of the rock may lead to development of new faults and fractures. Okay, that may cause earthquake. In the case of Goringen, the ground subsiding have been caused by extraction alone over several years. Such extraction causes rocks to contract. Okay, rocks to contract, and the pores get to hold less and less hydrocarbons over time. That is also a reason for human-induced earthquake in the area. Fine. Should India be concerned about the gas in the Netherlands? India's domestic gas price determined from the average of the four global indices such as the US Henry Hub, the UK's National Balancing Point, Canada's Alberta, and Russian gas. Combining these four gas pricing mechanism, so Indian gas pricing is fixed or determined. Compared with the pre-pandemic time, the average domestic price of gas has more than doubled from 5.08 pound 2 million metric that units to 11.62 dollar. Fine, from $5.08 to $11.62, which is more than double. Okay, according to care edge estimates that this is bound to rise again when the 6 monthly reset takes place for April September 2023. This price is going to further increase. India consume about 63.9 billion cubic meter of gas in financial 2022, about 31 billion cubic meter more than in the previous year. Import alone account for close to 50% of the consumption at about 30 billion cubic meters. That means half of India's gas consumption is made through imports. That means India is a gas deficit country, and import fulfill our requirement of gas up to 50%. Fine. So the prices in the international market are on a rising trend, so it will have its impact on the Indian domestic market price of the gas. Fine. Global production is estimated to decline from 4101 billion cubic meters in calendar 2021 to 4089 billion cubic meter in 2022. The situation could become challenging for the government unless the formula for determining domestic gas price is reviewed. Till then, the government has to bear the higher subsidy burdens on fertilizers, in the manufacture of which natural gas is used. So, in the manufacturing of fertilizers, natural gas is a major component. If the price goes on increasing in the international market, so that will have its ramification on the government subsidy given to the fertilizer manufacturers, because you know the fertilizer industry use huge amount of natural gas for production of fertilizer. If the international price of gas goes on remain on an increasing trend, so government has to bear more amount of subsidy to the fertilizer companies, okay, to get an assured supply of fertilizer, okay, for the Indian agricultural sector, because the fertilizer sector is a major user or major consumer of natural gas in the country, and the fertilizer being given to farmers at a subsidized rate, so the financial burden on the government will definitely increase once the international price of gas increases or remain on an increasing trend. This is the big cause of worry for all, because if this price in the international market goes on increasing, so it will have financial pressure on the government financial system. Fine. Okay, and also for the LPG, because LPG subsidy is being reduced year after year, but its constant rise in the LPG price is affecting the financial stability of the household in the country, because over the last few years the gas price are almost doubled in India, and it is a big financial burden on the domestic LPG users in the country. Okay, because under different schemes government provided LPG connections and encourage people to use gas as a substitute for fossil fuel burning or other wood, cow dung, agriculture residues burning, only to protect the environment pollution or prevent large scale environmental pollution. But if as the gas price is on a constant increase, the poor people who are provided uh, free gas connection under the Ujjala Yojana are unable to uh, fill their refill cylinders, okay, because they are unable to pay for the refill cylinder, and they are again back to their traditional source of cooking, like the first like the wood or agricultural residues, and that is too harmful and it is affecting the forest cover, because they are cutting the tree for the burning activity, as well as it is releasing huge amount of pollution to the atmosphere by burning of these agricultural residues and other uh, items which are traditionally used by the rural household for cooking purposes. The rural economy is always an economy which actively participates in cooking activity, and they need a regular supply of that cooking sources or cooking energy sources, fine, and they use the traditional method, and that traditional method, okay, so as it is becoming, the gas price is increasing due to the international market price increase in the international market. So the poor who are provided free gas connection under the Ujala Yojana, they are unable to book their refill cylinder, okay, and they are again polluting. Fine, that's what. Then go to the next topic. Next is about the UAV, indigenously developed by the Indian DRDO. Fine, Defense Research and Development Organization. So this is in the security scenario or in the civil scenario, the UAV or the drones and their applications is increasing. So the indigenous medium altitude low endurance unmanned aerial vehicle Rustam 2 is expected to complete all user trial by August 2023. Completed it. It is developed by the Defense Research and Development Organization DRDO. Rustam 2 is part of a Rustam line of unmanned aerial vehicle that includes Rustam 1, Rustam H and Rustam C. The drone was developed for use by all three services of Indian Armed Forces, primarily for intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance operations. Okay, ISR, intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance operations. The medium altitude prototype can fly up to 22,000 feet and is a long endurance unmanned aerial vehicle that has approximately flight time of 20 hours. It can go up to 22,000 feet high in the altitude, and it can fly up to for 20 hours without recharge. Fine. That is what it is more durable, and it can be in air for a long period of around 20 hours. So this will definitely facilitate many activities. Fine. The drone has been modeled on the Rustam H, that a light airframe. The Rustam 2 is propelled by two 3-bladed NPO Saturn engines. The UAV's tail section comes with a T-type vertical stabilizer and a high-mounted horizontal tailplane. It can fly at around 280 km per hour and carry a variety of payloads like medium-range electro-optics, long-range electro-optics, systematic aperture radar, electronic intelligence, communication intelligence, and the drone has model on the Rustam. Okay, so and situational awareness payloads. More and LERO sensors are placed inside the modular payloads under the nose for capturing imagery and video. The drone's data link transmit the ISR data to the armed forces ground control stations in real time, allowing prompt action. Rustam 2 can fly missions on manual as well as autonomous modes. So it is both a manual model and have an that an autonomous model. Fine. So that is why this makes this special drone very unique, because it is indigenously developed, its capacity is much higher. Okay, so that makes it unique. Okay, in Indian defense scenario, and as this drone has been specially prepared for the three services, Army, Navy and Air Force. So it will be its final testing and induction is eagerly waited by the three services in India. And with introduction of Rustam drones in the Indian defense sector, so the surveillance, okay, reconnaissance activity will get a fillip for the defense sources. Fine. Then the next news is about the cyclonic storm. Okay, normally the month of October is a month for cyclonic storm in the Bay of Bengal. Okay, it is normally. So either in May, June or in October, November every year, the cyclonic storms took place in the Bay of Bengal. Okay, the first tropical cyclone of the post-monsoon season of 2022 is likely to form in the Bay of Bengal. Already have been formed in Bay of Bengal on October 2022. If realized, this will be the first cyclone to develop in the Bay of Bengal in October since 2018 and will be called Sitrang, okay, as named by Thailand. So the upcoming which much warning has been issued, it has been named as Sitrang. Sitrang name was given by Thailand. Remember this. The last October cyclone, the Bay of Bengal, was Titli. It was in 2018. After Titli, the Sitrang cyclonic storm is being formed in the Bay of Bengal and its trajectory is not yet been fully predicted. Okay, whether it is going to its severity has not been established properly. So in due course of time, its severity will be definitely measured. Why storms in October? Why the month of October is more prone to cyclonic storms? Fine. It's a very important point, very pertinent one. Why October, not any other month? Month of October. Okay. In the past 131 years, October saw 61 storms develop in the Bay of Bengal. According to the Regional Specialized Meteorological Center, the East Coast, notably Odisha, has faced many of these severe storms in October, including the super cyclone of 1991. Okay, Hudud, Titli, Phylline, so many cyclone storms have been uh, witnessed in Odisha in the previous period. After the withdrawal of the southwest monsoon, there is a rise in ocean heating, which leads to rise in sea surface temperature over the Bay of Bengal. The atmospheric moisture availability over the ocean region too is higher. So when remnant system from the South China Sea reach the Bay of Bengal, they get conducive conditions, aiding the formation and intensification of cyclone in October. Fine. That's the major reason why cyclones took place in October. Fine. Cyclone Sitrang. The name Sitrang or read as Sitrang has been given by Thailand and features in the list of tropical cyclones names prepared by the regional center being followed since April 2020. The IMD is one of the world's six RMSC mandated to provide cyclone advisory and alert to 13 member countries: Bangladesh, India, Iran, Maldives, Myanmar, Oman, Pakistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, United Arab Emirates, and Yemen. The Indian Meteorological Department has been permitted to issue cyclone warning to these countries because our mechanism is more stronger in comparison to the monsoon prediction or cyclone prediction mechanism in these countries. Fine. Which states are likely to be affected? The IMD is yet to release the probable cyclonic track, but as per the latest updates, the prevailing low pressure system will strengthen and move towards India and east coast in the coming 4 days. Gale winds and on enhanced rainfall are expected mainly over Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, Odisha, West Bengal, and Bangladesh, particularly in the coastal districts, not in the interior part of the district. Okay, then in comparison with the Bay of Bengal, only 32 storms have developed in the ASEAN Sea in October since 1891. Climatologically, through the IMD states that the 5 storms form in the North Indian Ocean in the calendar year. 4 are in the Bay of Bengal and just 1 in the Arabian Sea. Fine. That means the Bay of Bengal is more prone to cyclonic storms than the Arabian Sea. Okay, this is all about. Then the next news that we will be covering is the Mission Life. Okay, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched Mission Life, Lifestyle for Environment. It's called Mission Life in the presence of the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres at the Statue of Unity, Ekta Nagar, Gujarat. Recently, the mantra of Mission Life is Lifestyle for Environment. The concept of life was introduced by the Prime Minister at COP26 at Glasgow on 1st November 2021. On World Environment Day, India furthered the vision of life by launching the Life Global Movement, okay, inviting academicians, researchers, and startups across the world to do think about the specific and scientific ways in the full potential of collective action can be harnessed to address the environmental crisis. Fine. Mission Life will action the idea and ideals of life through a mission mode scientific and measurable program for demonstrate India's commitment to work to tackle climate change. Okay, Mission Life is designed with the objective to mobilize at least 1 billion Indians and other global citizens to take individual and collective action to protect and preserving the environment in the period 2022 to 2027. So just involving the common people. Fine. While within India, at least 80% of the villages and urban local bodies are aimed to become environment friendly by 2028. Mission Life became first the belief that the environment can be protected by making changes in our lifestyle. It is right. So environment can be changed if we change our lifestyle and food habits. As we become more and more a consumer, so our energy needs is growing, and to fulfill that, government is importing energy without verifying that what pollution it will cause in India. So the cost analysis is not being done properly before a third party that okay. So intervention is affecting or changing the lifestyle. Okay, unless human being are not being that concerned, this will continue and this unabated will continue. Okay, and the next news is about the Forest Conservation Rule 2022. The forest is a major source and the major cause of concern for India because the first thing is that so our forest cover is less than the required percentage. Second, some states have more forest cover, some states have very low forest cover. And the overall thing is that as per the latest forest survey report, although forest cover is increasing in the country slightly, the dense forest has not increased. Okay, so although the forest survey reported recently that there is an increase in forest cover, yet the dense forest cover has not increased substantially. That the bushy forest has increased. There is some increase in mangrove forest, but the dense forest coverage is on a falling trend. Fine. Forest conservation rules infringe upon land rights of the tribal people, said the NCST, National Council for the STs. Okay. Harsha Chauhan, chairperson of the National Commission for Scheduled Tribe, NCST, okay, National Commission for the Scheduled Tribe, stated that it is the duty of the commission to cost the government when its policy have the potential to affect the well-being and rights of the people. So, what is the point for discussion here? The point is the National Commission for the Scheduled Tribe. Okay, it has reported that okay, it must intimate the government on a matter that affects the rights of the tribals. And this Forest Conservation Act, okay, is going to affect the lives of the tribals in the tribal infected that forest area. So the commission has expressed its anguish and reported that it will report this matter to the government. Okay. Soon after the rules were issued, okay, the National Commission for Scheduled Tribe formed a 6-member working group that included member of the commission and expert to look into whether the rules issued in June violated any provisions of the Forest Rights Act 2006 and if they infringe upon the rights of the tribal people. Fine. Two things. So the National Commission for the Scheduled Tribe, it has appointed an expert panel to know the ramification of this right on the people and whether their right are being affected by this. Okay, this is where the commission has been come to a proactive role. Fine. Based on the conclusion of the this working group and repeated dialogue with the villagers in the forest area and other stakeholders, the commission decided to recommend that the new rules be put on hold. It is conferred by the Section 4 of the Forest Conservation Act 1980 and in supersession of the Forest Conservation Rule 2003. But the provisions, the Forest Conservation Rules 2022, formation of committee. It constituted an advisory committee, a regional empowered committee at each of the integrated regional offices and a screening committee or at state, union territory, government level. Advisory committee, the role of the advisory committee is restricted to advise or recommend with regard to grant of approval under relevant section in respect of proposals referred to it and any matter connected with the conservation of forest referred to it by the central government. This is the mandate of the new forest rules. Project Screening Committee, the Minister of Environment, Pollution and Climate Change had directed the constitution of a project screening committee in each state and union territory for an initial review of proposals involving diversion of forest land. The 5-member committee will meet at least twice every month and will advise the state government on projects in a time-bound manner. All non-mining projects between 5 to 40 hectares must be reviewed within a period of 60 days and all such mining projects must be reviewed within 75 days. For project involving large area, the committee gets some more times, 120 days for non-mining projects involving more than 100 hectares and 150 days for mining projects. That means the review is to be done to improve the situation. Regional Empower Committee, all linear projects, road, highway, etc. projected involving forest land up to 40 hectares and those that have project for use of forest and land having a canopy density of up to 0.7 irrespective of their extent for the purpose of the survey shall be examined in the integrated regional office. Compensatory afforestation, the applications for diverting funds forest land in a hilly or mountainous area with green cover covering more than 2/3 of the geographical area or in the state and union territory with forest cover covering more than 1/3 of the geographical area will be able to take up compensatory afforestation under the CAMPA fund. What is the fund? The compulsory afforestation is popularly known as CAMPA. Fine. That is well. And this is central government launch program. Fine. Then let us come to the topic of the day. The today topic is Right of Persons with Disability Act 2016 remain only a legal document without intense sensitization of government functionaries and citizens regarding disability and disabled persons. Right to person with disability and act came into force in 18th April 2017 to give an effect to the United Nations Convention on Right with Persons with Disability. With this, the focus on disability has been reduced or has been shifted from the individual to that to society, from the medical model of disability to the social or human rights model of disability involving human being. Not mere parameters. Reservation, what is this special feature of this Forest Amendment Act? Office of Chief Commissioner and Conservation, disability friendly access or to all public spaces. Fine. Okay. Disability friendly access to all public sites. Central and State Advisory Board on Disability and Prediction Level Committee. Okay. The reservation of vacancy in the government establishment expanded the number of disability from 7 to 12. So these are the special feature of the Representation of People Act. Fine. But how far they are implemented or not? Fine. So challenges with this. Okay. Lacks implementation. Most building in India are not disabled friendly, especially the Accessible India campaign has been launched. Okay, Sugamya Bharat Abhiyan. Okay, quota of reservation, but the majority of these posts are vacant due to the absence of beneficiary who can avail it. Fine. Health, education, employment, lack of awareness, care and accessible medical facility, lack of availability of special schools and other employment rate than others. Okay. Discrimination and problem of dual burden, stigma attached. Okay, so stigma attached compounded by a lack of understanding of their rights make it difficult for them to attain their valued function. Okay, then political participation, lack of lacks implementation, health education, discrimination and problem of dual burden. Okay, political participation. Okay, then need of sensitization, the less institutional hindrances and uphold judicial pronouncement to access schemes and initiatives launched by the government, roughly and especially. Okay, so okay, to ensure non-discrimination, accessibility and equality of opportunity, respect for difference and acceptance of persons with disability as part of the humanity. Fine. Way forward, community-based rehabilitation approach and societal awareness, increasing public awareness and understanding of disability to change attitude, because since last 2001 census, government has started taking specific disability data. So what sort of disability one is suffering from? Earlier it was broadly as disabled, but right now government is collecting specific disability data, so specific program can be launched for the individual. Okay, so collaboration with state and proper security and tracking of allotted funds, and the government and the judiciary have adopted a right-based approach with respect to disabled people. The implementation of the Act would require regular monitoring to ensure that provisions of the Act are implemented in the letter and spirit. This is what. Okay. Then coming to the MCQ discussion for the day. Okay. So Groningen's gas field, it is in Netherlands. Fine. Number two, I consider the following statement. Bangladesh has become the first country in the world to ban the drug ketoprofen. Tamil Nadu became the fastest in India to ban the veterinary use of ketoprofen in Nilgiri. The first ever fully vulture safe zone was declared in Nepal. India does not have any vulture safe zone, so only So India has so many zones. Okay, this is not correct. Fine. The honesty subs open as part of the student police cadet project. It was in Kerala. Then coming to the next question with reference to Rustam 2, it is an indigenous medium altitude long endurance unmanned aerial vehicle. It has been designed and developed by the Aeronautical Development Establishment of the DRDO. Okay, so both the statements are correct. Fine. Then with reference to mission life, the Prime Minister elaborated the mission life embodies the spirit of the P3 model, pro planet people. Okay, it functions on the basic principle of lifestyle of the planet, for the planet and by the planet. So these so none is so so all so these two are correct. So answer is neither one nor two. Fine. Then comes to the following statement with respect to naming of the tropical cyclone. Regional Specialized Meteorological Center, New Delhi, is responsible for name the tropical cyclones forming over the North Indian. Okay. Then the names of the tropical cyclone over the North Indian Ocean, once used, will cease to be used in again. So both are correct. Then consider the following statement. As per the recent amendment to the Indian Forest Act 1927, forest dwellers have the right to fell the bamboos grown on the forest land. Okay. So as per this schedule, tribe the other traditional forest dwellers recognition of forest right act. Bamboo is a minor forest product. It is a minor forest product. Okay. The scheduled tribes of the other traditional forest dweller act of the Act 26 allow ownership of the minor forest products to the foresters. So this is 2 and 3 are right. Then Interpol launched the first ever metaverse especially designed for law enforcement agency worldwide during its 19th General Assembly in Delhi. With reference to the metaverse, consider the following statement. Author Neil Stephenson coined the term metaverse in his novels, The Snow Cats. And the metaverse combines aspect of virtual reality and augmented reality. Fine. So it is only one is correct, not the two. Okay. So it is the Akash Tattva. Okay, or Element Akash. Indian Space Research Organizations along with the Ministry of Science and Technology is set to organize a 2-day conference. Okay, known as the theme is Akash Tattva or the element of Akash. Then with the following committee, the commission are related to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, KG Allocation Commission, Lokur Commission, Buria Commission. All the three are related to the SC/ST and their rights. With this, we are completing today's discussion. Keep on watching regularly to update yourself on a very regular basis. Thank you.